bella, tarán, tan, de mi tierra santa. ¿Eso es mío? No, eso no le gusta. Y pesa mucho para ella. Que ya no sé lo que ellos hacen, que ellos cogen y lo desaparecen.
Búscale de ahí, mira, el cosito este.
Alexa, stop. ¿Tú trabajas los domingos?
Los domingos.
Uh-huh.
No sé. Posiblemente los sábados sí, pero los domingos. Sí. Pero el domingo creo que no sé.
Porque el aeropuerto habla 24/7 prácticamente. Tiene que haber alguien que... Claro. Bueno.
Niño, quítate esa mala maña.
Tú no vas a salir para afuera. Tú no vas a dormir más afuera. De mi tierra santa, tarán, tan, de mi tierra bella, param, pam. Ash. Asher, ven, que ya ahorita es la hora de la comida. ¿Tata qué hora es? Ah, todavía falta. Si quiere salir, que salga y después yo lo vuelvo a entrar. Descarado, ok. De mi tierra santa, taranta, de mi tierra bella, burum, bum.
targeted or, first approached by their respective suspects while out and about doing things. So it suggests that maybe this individual is opportunistic.
So in both their cases, they were found in remote areas.
So both Christine and Donna, is that they're both cases where there may have been two offenders.
Archie appears to be very lone wolfish. Doesn't have a lot of a big social circle.
So what we know about him doesn't necessarily match this, especially if we're going with the thought that there's two suspects. The most consistent thing in his profile is that he is a lone wolf. And one thing that I can see here that may have any connection whatsoever is the nannies, the interest in that. It doesn't really seem like Archie would have been connected. There's just things that don't really match up. There's just not enough to link Archie to these two cases. I don't think there's a strong enough link between the killers of Christine Prince or Donna Alcock and the Archie profile. But what about the other victims in Veronica's box?
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Because beauty excites. It energizes. It drops our jaws. Dilates our eyes. Makes us look twice. A beautiful home, a beautiful life is something we create. And we can start right now at Floor & Decor.
Did you know that 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about?
Well, that's dumb. I keep track of my subscriptions in spreadsheets and I always get it ready.
We'll see about that. All right, so I just downloaded Rocket Money on your phone, and it looks like you're paying for 2 meal delivery kits.
What?
Why?
Let me see. It's probably my ex. Gotta call and cancel.
Wait, with Rocket Money, you can cancel subscriptions you don't want right from the app with just a few taps.
Well, I still lost $400.
But you might not have, because Rocket Money will also reach out and try to get you a refund for the money you lost.
Actually?
Yeah, download Rocket Money today.
Here we are. Welcome home. I've been really looking forward to your summer out here. You're gonna have fun.
Did you guys know that and Cece's uncle was one of the kids who went missing in 1994?
That story gave me nightmares when I was younger.
That's not good. Best summer ever.
I want to go back to Veronica's box because one of the victims caught my attention. Lois Hanna is 25 years old. She's a white woman who went missing from Ontario. She was last seen coming home from a party. Actually, I'm looking at her picture right now, and I kind of have an idea as to why Veronica may have indicated that she was a victim of Archie. This hairstyle, Veronica indicated Archie had a sexual proclivity for hair, but it believed that Archie asked Veronica to cut her hair to look like this right after Lois Hanna went missing.
After every episode that he was involved with, he had me cut my hair to resemble these victims. And he pushed it like it was something different, something fun to do. But when I had all the pictures laid out on the desk, this is the picture that he took of me, and that represented one of the women that went missing.
Lois had gone to a centennial celebration with her brothers. And she left at 11:45 p.m.
She left alone. Yeah, she drove herself home.
She was supposed to apparently work the next day at 11 a.m. Did she not show up? Neighbor's pretty close. So yeah, I guess, because this is her house here.
They are saying that the doors were locked, lights and TV were on, and a half cup of tea on the kitchen counter.
Ken Carden. Let's bring that up. This is a small town. In towns like this, it's hard to imagine a young woman vanishing without a trace. Lois's brothers have agreed to meet with us in Kincardine. Was there anything unusual going on in Lois's life at the time of her disappearance? Was she seeing someone? These kinds of things could lead to a connection with Archie. We're hoping her family can give us more information. Okay, so I just see little shops, banks, bakeries.
Doesn't really give me the picture that it was a dangerous place to live.
These are all small mom and pop shops. Imagine what it would have been like in the 80s. Hopefully her brothers can tell us a little more about her and what happened that night. Can you tell us a little bit about Lois?
Well, I tell my own daughter that she got robbed because Lois loved to have fun. She had a wicked sense of humor. She could light up a room. She was the youngest of the family and the only girl. She was, as you say, fashion plate. She did win a beauty contest.
It's actually surprising that she grew up with 4 brothers, but she actually stayed true to fashion taste and stuff, and she didn't grow up with a tomboy.
She was still a rough and tumble country girl, though. Like she wasn't somebody you messed with. I mean, she might look pretty, but she would take you down too.
But Mom and Lois were very, very close. So when Lois went away, it just crushed her. It would be Christmas time, and she'd hug us on the way out the door and be like, God, made it through another one. I guess that was a part that was crushing. Just breaks her heart.
I want to go back to the week where Lois went missing. Did she attend the dance with anybody?
She was with us about 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. She said she was tired. We gave her a hug goodbye. I saw her walk off the floor. I think that was about 11:45. The next morning, my girlfriend phoned up and said, Lois didn't make it to work today. That's not like her to do that. One of the gals that worked at the store had actually climbed in through a window and got in the house, and Lois wasn't in the house. The car's there, the house was locked. Lois's purse is in the house.
Lois was never separated from her purse. When Mom told me that her purse was still in the house, I knew we were in trouble.
The disappearance of one of the community's most popular young women has weighed heavily on the town.
What did happen to Lois Anna? I wish I had the answer.
This is Lois's house. Was Lois's house.
What's it like for you being here now?
I haven't stood in this area here for over 20 years. It's really bizarre, actually.
The neighbors who were living in this area at that time, did they hear anything at all?
There was an older lady who was living in this house across the way. She saw a vehicle parked out on the road here that night.
The only thing I've ever sort of rationalized is that she obviously left the house, probably got into a vehicle with someone to talk. And whoever she got in with, she knew them. She wouldn't have got into a vehicle with a stranger. That would make no sense at all.
So we get there, and this jackass town cop that they had there, he's doing his initial investigation. Lois was drinking a cup of tea. He's got the cup of tea in his hand. He's dumped it in the sink. I'm looking at him, I was like, I don't think we should be touching this stuff. He goes, well, what the hell do you think we're doing? We're going to take fingerprints? And he kind of rolled his eyes. I'm like, wow, we're in some trouble here.
This police officer was contaminating the scene.
They kept saying, she's not missing.
They just have to wait 48 hours.
Before you say she's missing.
It would take 4 days before police agreed to get involved. There were searches and rewards and pleas for information.
It's been 35 years. We're still actively looking for clues. We just hope we could just find out what happened, or just find out where she is.
I don't know what it is to sit day after day wondering what happened to your family member. I want to continue to get these families answers. Could Archie be responsible for Lois Hannah's disappearance?
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, when other vacation rentals make you share your turf with a host, try one, that's all yours.
The Hannah brothers invited us to join them for a grid search to see if we can find anything related to their sister's case. It's been 35 years, but there's always a chance new evidence might be unearthed, and that information could connect to Archie.
Thank you all for coming to do the search today. Here's where we are right now. We're at the Hannah family farm. Sometime between 1 and 5 a.m., a loud female scream was heard from down here. The next event that took place, a girl was seen wearing a peach-colored nightgown. So it stands to reason that it's possible that was Lois, and this is where she could be.
If we believe that someone could be out there or has left something that could lead us to them, why would I sit in my living room? There's work to be done.
So these were all buried in the mud around here.
I found something. That's a pelvis.
Looks like a deer pelvis to me, and another pile of the deer bone, I believe.
Ooh, what's that?
So we found some peach-colored fabric, what it seems to be. We know it to be important. We will send it off to be analyzed just to see what can be learned from it. If it is possible fabric for clothing and it matches the color that was missing from her wardrobe, then it stands to reason we should focus on that area more.
Some person who committed that crime could just take away not just one life, but also the life of all of her family members. Her brother Dave, that little boy who was so close to his sister, is still there. I also have a brother. I can't imagine, honestly, if something would happen to my brother. I know that my life would stop at that moment. For Dave, it's just very painful to see that. It never went away.
Your frustration and anger that you got, just sort of, you had to swallow a lot of it down just because, I mean, you're driving down the road, nothing going on, and the tears would just start howling out of you.
I can't imagine the frustration.
Best news that we've heard forever. The family gets called in year almost 11. They had a person of interest.
But a renewed appeal for witnesses and new DNA tests has narrowed a list of suspects down to just one person. But who that person is, police aren't saying.
What is it that police kind of hit on that said this is a primary suspect?
This is the only guy they've never been able to essentially clear. The cops couldn't put him at the dance. They had interviewed him, did not pass his polygraph.
Are you free to disclose who that suspect is?
So the cop said, all you have to do is release this guy's name to somebody. And he said, you could ruin 10 years of our investigation.
Lewis's brothers did not want to disclose the person of interest's name, but I asked them whether or not that person's name matched Archie's real name, and it didn't. This is a small town. Nobody's ever mentioned him in the context of this crime. Nobody's ever seen him at the dance. We can't accurately place him here. It's unlikely that Archie was responsible for the disappearance of Lois Hannah. Given the strange similarity between Archie's obsession and Lois Hannah's haircut, this was an important lead to investigate. But on its own, the haircut isn't enough of a link to prove he was involved. Even though the cases of Archie's alleged victims, Christine Prince, Donna Alcock, and Lois Hannah, have some things in common, There's no definitive links between them, which is why I want to look at 2 more cases in Veronica's box who are definitely linked.
Metro Police are appealing for the public's help in solving the murder of 22-year-old Erin Gilmore.
Erin Gilmore was an aspiring fashion designer who was sexually assaulted and stabbed to death inside her apartment. A murder that happened 4 months after Susan Tice, a mother of 4 and social worker, was also assaulted at home and killed.
DNA evidence shows Erin and Susan Tice were victims of the same predator.
Veronica thought that Archie was responsible for 2 of Toronto's most infamous murders, those of Susan Tice and Erin Gilmore. Tice and Gilmore are different from the other victims. They're different from Donna, from Lois, from Christine. These were women who were living in a busy, urban, crowded area. These were women who were killed in their homes. They were both women of some wealth or some status. These aren't cases of individuals who were vulnerable. They're not cases of individuals who are living on the margins. These cases usually get solved quickly. But in 1983, the DNA technology just was not there. That's why it took until the year 2000 for police to connect the dots. We know that their murders are definitely linked. The question is, are they linked to Archie? Let's just go through these cases. Susan Tice is a mother. She moved to Toronto from Calgary. She moved there recently, just before she died. She was living alone in this family-oriented neighborhood. We know that the offender managed to get into her apartment. She was found on the 2nd floor. She was sexually assaulted. She was assaulted or hit with a liquor bottle. She was stabbed several times, which is indicative of overkill. Overkill is when you inflict so much violence on a person it's far beyond what was necessary to kill them. Erin Gilmore was 22 years old. She wanted to work in the fashion industry and was a sales clerk at a local boutique. She was the daughter of billionaire David Gilmore. Like Susan Tice, she had recently moved into her apartment. An offender managed to get into her house. She was sexually assaulted. She was stabbed several times, also indicative of overkill. She was tied to the bed. We also know that her offender covered her with a blanket. Can you hypothesize as to what that means?
Can it be a way for, distancing themselves from the crime, just to avoid the fact that they did that?
Kind of covering it so, they don't have to see what they've done. Covering up a crime could also signal that he wants to control the environment. And this lines up with what Veronica's told us about Archie. We know from Veronica, she knows, or she feels, that he's very into control. He wants to be able to control his environment. If you look at the photos at the Gilmore crime scene, it looks like the perpetrator was very much in control.
It looks pristine to me. It doesn't look like a crime occurred here. It's pretty organized and clean.
The Gilmore crime scene definitely lines up with components of Archie's profile. But what about the other victims' profiles? On paper, they seem pretty different. Even though these murders happened within 4 months of each other, these women were different in terms of age, looks, location, hobbies, and social activities. But one striking similarity between Tice and Gilmore is that they had both moved into new residences, living by themselves. Aya and Hannah, can you go to the actual locations themselves to see what does it look like? Is it busy? What kind of people are there? Who's going to be noticed? Could Archie be responsible for 2 of Toronto's most infamous cold cases?
There's no better time for a kitchen refresh than the new year, and no better place to start than Hobby Lobby. So make your space inviting with distinctive dinnerware for tablescapes that bring loved ones together. Make it neat and unique with kitchen decor and containers of all shapes and sizes. Make it fun and functional with mix and match kitchen tools for every vibe and every budget. Shop kitchen essentials at Hobby Lobby because home is what you make it.
Zyrtec allergy relief works fast and lasts a full 24 hours, so Dave can be the
Deliverer of dance.
Okay, Dave. Let's be more than our allergies. Seize the day with Zyrtec.
Am I turning left at the light? You're turning left.
Was I supposed to turn? Yeah. You're good. You can keep going. It was Sasha who introduced me to Hannah. We were both managing Tasha's two main databases. We started talking a little bit more, sharing more about what we're doing, and just build a friendship, like just rooting for each other no matter what the other person's doing. They're always like talking and making notes and analyzing data. It's so different reading about it. Yeah, it would be nice to find some clues. All right. Okay. Daredevil. You're just doing it. It's kind of hard to believe that somebody would have been murdered in this neighborhood.
This looks like a neighborhood where there wouldn't be suspicious people around.
Like it's an exclusive.
Private.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yorkville hasn't changed. It's always been an upscale neighborhood, even when the murder took place. In Archie's profile, it does say that he had connections to this neighborhood in Toronto through his dad's businesses. He was wealthy and white. I can imagine he could walk around here without attracting attention.
This is where Erin Gilmore works, down here.
Didn't she live upstairs? Like right above the shop?
Yep. That's her balcony up there.
You have a good shot of the street and stuff, and anybody who's coming up. There's like a sort of sketchy alleyway back there. There may be another entrance.
Let's go check it out.
I wonder how creepy this was back then.
And at night, I think that was her window. Her body was discovered by her boyfriend. I think she was waiting for the boyfriend to meet her to go out later.
When did the boyfriend find her?
37 minutes after, apparently.
That's pretty soon.
She found her tied to the bed.
Oh. So there was bondage involved. It was done in a rush, yet had time to tie her up. To commit such a vicious crime and escape quickly indicates to me that he knew what he was doing.
Now we're on our way to where Susan Tice lived and was found murdered.
Tice had just moved here before she was murdered, and Gilmore was also
new to that area. Tice lived in one of these houses.
She was found in her bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm. Her brother-in-law, I think, did a wellness check on her after she didn't show up to a family gathering. There was like mail piling up, alleyways to the sides of the houses, like kind of narrow, more private areas on the side. So similar to Gilmore. Mm-hmm. These alleyways make it easy for a perpetrator to sneak away unnoticed.
Area is a little different than Gilmore's area, where it looked pretty exclusive.
Whereas with this neighborhood, having a park so close by, you could attract a lot of different kinds of people.
Yeah. And there was no sign of forced entry.
No signs of forced entry.
Similar to Gilmore also. Is it somebody she knew?
It's interesting that we see similarities but also differences. Both of the crime scenes do seem to kind of line up with some of what we've talked about with Archie. There is a little bit of overlap, but I don't know if there's enough.
I think the fact that both of these women had just recently moved into their residences points more to a person who was probably doing utility work or somebody who would have been able to have that door open for them.
It's vital to build these profiles for the database, and you really do have to work to understand what's going on. So it pushes you to learn how to be analytical and to learn how to
Por donde está la comida de la Lex y
Building the
eso.
missing and murdered
Para allá.
database, I wanted to make it a much more human experience. So getting the chance to speak with more family members and people that actually knew the victims really helps to inform the database and gives us a fuller picture of the crime itself. Susan Tice's daughter, Christian, has agreed to meet with us, so I'm going to send Aya and Florence to hear her story. The data we're compiling is going to lead us to an answer of who killed these women. Question is, was Archie the killer?
The Rooms to Go President's Day sale starts now. So save big on the furniture you want. Get huge savings for every room of your home. With living rooms on sale, bedrooms on sale, and dining rooms on sale. And it's about to get even better. With 50-month interest-free financing. That's right. At Rooms to Go, you get both. Amazing sale prices and interest-free financing for 50 months. Don't wait. The Rooms to Go President's Day sale starts now.
$6 never tasted so good. IHOP's Breakfast Faves combo is now just $6. Featuring IHOP's world famous buttermilk pancakes, crispy hickory smoked bacon, and 2 eggs cooked to order your way. All for just $6. Part of the new $6 House Faves menu.
Here's my mom when she was getting married in her dress. So beautiful. I love that shot.
She's smiling in all of them.
Yeah, she's always had a big smile. I would say that my mom was brilliant. She really was one of those kind of people that was very open and loved to communicate. She was so important, like in terms of the support and, you know, this unconditional love that helped me.
Tell us about when your mom moved on her own.
My mom went back to school to get her master's degree to become a social worker.
Yeah.
So she had just set up her practice in Toronto, and then we had to move back to Calgary because my dad's job moved him, and that was the reason they separated. And then tragedy strikes.
I wanted to ask some more detail about the day you found out about your mother's death.
I was at camp. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm brushing my teeth, and my camp counselor says, "Your brother's here." I can remember walking in, and just the face of my brother, I knew something was wrong. And he said to me, "Mom died this afternoon." And I just, like, I don't even recall what I said or had done. I didn't get any information other than she had died. On the plane, I was told that somebody had killed her. It wasn't until a year later that I found out that she was raped. You have to start thinking about what your mom went through, and to me, it's torture. It's like brutal, and it's just a whole other nightmare. I can't imagine that kind of suffering. So you look at the press, even the terminology. I mean, I'm wondering if they have to make it PG, because my mom was assaulted. She wasn't raped. She wasn't murdered. She was assaulted. So they're dumbing it down. And then the police say that she must have been going out to nightclubs or restaurants or bars.
Investigators recently received an anonymous tip that Susan Tice frequented restaurants and bars in Yorkville, a significant lead and a new starting point for the investigation.
That's baloney. Like, she's 45. She's got 4 kids. She's got so many things on her plate, trying to figure out, like, get the house organized. This idea that she's out partying or at the bar, nightclub. I don't know, the sensationalization.
Ay, pero tú estás muy sexy.
Sexy.
¿Cuándo tú vas tan elegante?
Ya
¿Viste la elegancia de Franco?
La graduación.
Ay, qué sexy que estás hoy.
No, yo iba con otra carterita, pero andé.
No, pero
estás con esa cartera que te dicen el Johnny. No, Johnny me la quita, pero mira, yo andaba con esto.
Mira, no.
Andaba con esto.
Mira que te queda.
Ay, ¿verdad?
Pero déjame el pelo, ese pelo es para ti.
Todo el mundo, hoy todo el mundo es Broward. todo el mundo en Broward hoy. Ay, qué lindo ese pelo, ay, qué lindo ese
Ya te
pelo.
están saliendo las canas.
Ya estoy bien afeitada.
Pero,
Tú me vas a decir,
no, y me gusta porque es
ahora
oscura
voy
y después va a
a
cambiar.
a mí de niña a la graduación, pero
Está muy
estoy
sexy,
meando.
está beautiful. Tienen baby wipes.
Sí.
Ay, hay baby wipes. Está muy sexy.
Sí, no voy a pegar, voy a mirar.
Mira.
¿Y esto qué es?
Pero no tengo faja ni nada. Yo me tiré esto y ya.
No, pero no se puede paja.
Así está bien.
El correo dije, no
Ay, a mí me encanta esa ropa como te queda, mami.
Te queda bien.
Tú eres
Exacto.
gorda, pero tú te vistes muy luz. ¿Quieres que me vistas así?
Pero que ella no está tan gorda ya.
Ella no está tan gorda ya.
No,
Ella está
María,
gorda.
trata de sacártelo sin eso, pero no. Pues María me lo tuvo que amarrar. Quítamelo ahí para mirar. Yo no sabía ni qué ponerme.
Ay, Dios mío, yo me voy muy loca.
Ahí está bien.
Ahí me encanta esa ropa.
Ay.
Ay, Dios.
Ahora vamos a llamar a mi
Pero que no me tienes un problema en los pies.
que se me salen.
Se te salen. No me di cuenta de eso.
No, se me salen. Yo no sé por qué.
Viste, dice que viene
¿Viste?
que viene de IKEA.
¿Qué viene?
Desde IKEA.
¿Quién?
¿Tú?
No, ¿de qué?
O el Palacio de las Arrugas.
Con los dedos.
Del Palacio de las Arrugas.
Con los dedos.
Sí. Loca, no de los perros.
Y acá con las sandalias naranjas que me regaló esa niña, Juanita. Y me quedan bien. Las suelas bien. Eso que me sale mi palabra.
¿Tú conoces a apartar con el tío? ¿Apartar con el tío?
Literalmente, no lo huele. Los dos tienen una pesta arriba, cigarro. Pero no pueden comer chocolate. Pero hay chocolate para perros.
Baby. Baby.
¡Ay!
Baby.
Ayúdame a arreglarme esto. Niña, te voy a contar algo que me pasó. Yo con mi locura cojo. Y yo digo, cojo la cartera, me la llevo, aunque no me voy a bajar con ella, porque tengo muchas cosas ahí. Y le pongo el pestillo a la puerta y cierro la puerta. Y cojo la llave del llavero, porque a mí, yo no sé por qué, yo me hice la idea que yo había puesto mi llave en el llavero, pero ya no la pongo en el llavero. Ya yo la meto en la cartera y cojo la llave de ahí. Niña, era la llave de mi papá. Y yo dije, ay Dios mío, y mi llave, si yo la dejé adentro, pero ya yo vi no lo corté con llave, y adentro tengo la otra llave. Así si yo no me sequé ni me pasé la mano por el
Pero
dedo.
tienes que secarte, mami, porque eso es mal, va infección.
Ya yo la tengo.
No, pero eso no es normal.
Dame ahí mi teléfono a ver si Mitre me consiguió alguna frente.
¿Verdad?
Pues no está Albert.
Maralde. ¿Dónde está Maralde?
Tú que como estás elegante.
Yo no soy Maralde.
No,
Yo soy Marta Gómez. Familia de Jesús. De
Jesús.
Ay,
de tío Jesús.
No, pero
De
es
Armando
mi
Junior.
papá. De
Armando
Jesús
Junior.
Gómez, es mi papá.
Armando
Y de
Gómez.
y de madre de Frances Gómez. Y abuela de Ash y de Lacey. De Lacey. Le dije a Maral, le dije, tú no vas a salir, me hace falta que le des la comida a los niños. Ya está. Acuérdate mi mamá.
Papi.
No, ni papi ni papá. Oye.
Mira mi gatico, mami.
Cuando más le digo, vete. Estaba hablando con alguien en el espacio.
Se puso una foto de Tel.
¿Dónde?
Y de Toby en su WhatsApp.
Yo no ni veo su WhatsApp.
No, yo pensaba que era tuyo, lo puse en la isla de voz.
¿Verdad?
Gracias, mira, tengo un-
¿Viste eso?
No, mami.
¿Tú no leíste
This
eso?
is like too much cry for no reason. Look, however, yeah, I agree.
¿Y por qué ellos saben mi situación?
King self-discovery.
Mira, ese
Stop blaming yourself for other people's negative. Yup, their thoughts and their feelings are their own. You're a good person. Yup. Pero así, que uno mira su orejita.
No matter what.
Así mismo.
Y que yo se llamara a mí porque me
Y a ti con peleón. Mira el otro maricón, son descarados, pero tú tampoco lo quieres a mí.
Ay, baby, ¿por qué te dicen así? Mami, cuando me llamas que estaba saliendo de la graduación, hoy fui a la graduación de Parent Powers.
No sabía que había graduación de
Sí, 5 estudiantes. Pero es que era la graduación de Yanaisi, pobrecita, y Yanaisi.
Sí, me comentaste que quería ir a la graduación de ella, pero no sabía.
Ajá. Le dije a María, recógeme, porque María me menciona hoy en la supervisión, y le dije, María, recógeme, y entonces me dejó ahora aquí en Casa Esperanza. Tú sabes que cuando llamamos a Maricarmen ya lo había arrestado hoy. Así mismito, estamos locos buscando, seguimos buscando. No tienes nada.
No, ya no estamos con eso, para que vean.
Bueno, aquí estamos reunidos. Los Gómez con los Hernández.
A Francia con lo de...
Hay que esperar el lunes.
A ponerlo.
No, papá.
Para que le digan.
Para que lo aprueben. Ya pagué los
puso los
100
$100 pesos de la aplicación.
Y ahora están haciendo el background check. No, yo sé que eso no es el problema, pero hay que ver si ellos quieren. ¿Entiendes?
Sí.
Pero dice que el background check se demora 2 días. Que no es 2 weekdays. Eso puede ser el fin de semana porque es un sistema, pero sí se demora 2 días.
Aquí es de carajo, gatos de Esperanza. Y para de hacerle costillas. ¿Y qué hace? Para que le siga haciendo costillas.
Y la princesa, ¿cómo está la princesa? ¿Qué le pasó? Que obvio Carolita puso algo que estaba tomando medicina. ¿Por qué?
Sí, por el corazón, tiene problema en el corazón, tiene que tomar la furosemida de por vida, tiene que tomar...
Tía, yo tengo una amiguita mía que es veterinaria y ella puede, déjame saber las pastillas y eso porque mi tía las puede comer de Colombia más baratas.
Bueno, ella toma el enalapril, ¿cómo se llama? El enalapril, la furosemida y otra más.
Está bien, mándame un mensajito de texto y yo le pregunto, por preguntar no se pierde nada.
Claro.
¿Y qué te la está dando aquí un doctor aquí, no?
Sí, ahí en Pantufle eso le está dando.
Bueno, Postubal no es nada carero.
No, la medicina del mes sale como en $30.
No está nada mal. Mándamelo por un mensajito de texto como quiera.
Para tirar la foto de la medicina.
Sí, para yo como quiera coger y preguntarle.
Ya vamos a hacer el día de tu cumpleaños.
Sí, ella va a estar aquí.
Está bien. Pues a Prince le tengo que dar a las 8 de la mañana y a las 8 de la noche, que ahora mismo llegué de la calle, se lo voy a dar ahora.
Qué bueno.
Dice que hacías callejera, donde tú andabas.
No, fui a buscar las medicinas a Pulma con Adelita. Y me compré el vestido de... Adelita me compró el vestido de gala, fuimos a otro y me compré el vestido de la gala de ella.
Niña, vaya, suerte sin vacunar.
¿Y cómo le va a la lista de trabajo? ¿Ya empezó?
Vestido de gala, trajes y trajes.
¿Y cómo le va? ¿Le gusta?
Sí, está de lo más contenta.
Yo ya no la he visto más en el team.
No, ya tiene la máquina.
Ya.
Bueno, Alejandro, te diré que le dijeron que no era dice Pino que no lo tiene, que lo tiene en el límite, pero todavía no necesita tratamiento ni nada, solamente hacer ejercicio. Yo empecé a caminar.
¿El caminador?
Sí, hacer ejercicio y disminuir los carbohidratos.
Pues bueno, así ya es.
¿Y tía no le mandaron Metformin?
No, dijo él que todavía no está familiarizado.
Pero Metformin yo he escuchado que es muy bueno. No solamente para la diabetes, dice que Metformin te ayuda a vivir más largo.
Bueno, yo viviré muy largo, pero llevo 30 años tomando Metformin. Yo viviré mucho tiempo porque yo... ¿Eh?
Una Arelita que me dijo que iba a salir, que se estaba despidiendo.
No le que me llame, que me escriba, que me tiene abandonada. Que ya hace años.
Dice France que le escriba que la tienen abandonada, Arelita. Sí, que no escribe, no te reporta.
No, que ya es una doctora y entonces adiós a los plebes. Está bien.
Ya tú sabes. Hoy trabajo hasta las 5. Hoy no le toca trabajar, ella no va a trabajar los viernes, pero como la semana empezó ayer, nada más esta semana iba a trabajar un día, porque nada más va a trabajar 3 días, creo que el lunes, miércoles y jueves.
Oye, yo me fui de la oficina a las 4:30 de la tarde. Ay, tengo tanto trabajo para la predicación. El miércoles, ahorita le voy a mandar un mensaje de texto a Miranda y digo, si necesito que me dediquen el miércoles toda la mañana. Y el miércoles que me levante, porque la cantidad de mierda que hay que poner en esos folders, pasando folders de un año para otro año, no, para que te cuente. Vale, no, vale. Está bien, man.
Entonces van a enfocarse en un cuarto o van a esperar el lunes para ver si buscan una renta. ¿Qué van a hacer?
El problema es que hasta el lunes...
Hasta el lunes me dieron. Ya el lunes por la noche no tienen de dormir, ese es el problema.
Bueno, entonces yo voy a ver. Había una, pero que era muy cara, un cuarto 1,100 en
está loco. Está loco, ¿no?
Con Javier.
¿Qué va? 1,100 por un cuarto de una casa, que está loco la gente. No se puede, mire, además es que no lo tienen. Si Armandito no ha empezado a trabajar hasta el día 11. Y ya, nadie tiene más trabajo ni nada, no se puede. Si yo no voy a hablar hoy, Nani, voy a hablar con la muchacha para dejarle saber, tú sabes, que Armandito no cobra la primera semana, tiene que dejarle el fondo. Que se jodan, a marcarme y ya lo olvidé ya.